Alright guys, welcome to this next little video on what's going to be a little interesting topic. One of my viewers left a comment on one of my videos. It says, "Yo, how long do you intend on using x58? I'm still rocking the x56 75 at 4.3 GHz on an MSI Pro motherboard. I've been using it for more than a year now. Glad to see that there are people who still use x58. Now, to add a little comment to this guy's comment, x58 ain't going anywhere. There is something truly magical about using a 10-year-old CPU and pumping as much power out of it as you possibly can. The fact of the matter is, x58, while being very good value for money, is just fun. It's fun to use, it's fun to talk about, it's fun to experiment with, it's just an enjoyable platform. Now, yes, there are many people who say just let the whole platform die, just let your x58 die because x58 is 10 years old, move on to a better platform. Except for what is truly a better platform? You gotta remember, up until a 3rd gen Ryzen, AMD could not beat out the x58 Intel stuff. If you look at benchmarks comparing the X50, let's just throw like a W3680, because that's what I personally have. Actually, I have a lot of processors, but W3680 is my best one. You compare a W3680 at 4.5 gigahertz compared to the, Ryzen 3 or Ryzen 5 1600 or 1600X overclocked to 4.2, because those had kind of like the soft cap of 4.2. It was really weird how the Ryzen processors only can really hit that 4.2 gigahertz mark, and then going above that, you need to pump so much voltage into them that they just don't last. But that's a topic for another day. But comparing those two processors, both overclocked to the moon, x58 still slightly took the edge. Not by much, but by enough to where you really had to question about this whole Ryzen stuff. Then 2nd gen Ryzen came out, and it was about, AMD and Intel at that point in time with x58 were trading blows quite effectively. And there's a lot of videos you can go and watch showing that there are some things that Intel actually took the crown with. Now, synthetics, no. AMD totally rocked it with the synthetics. But I digress. Yet again, another topic for another day. We're talking about gaming performance here. When it came to gaming performance, the optimization for Intel is still there. I hate to say it to anybody who built a Ryzen system, who bought a Ryzen system, who think Ryzen is literally the best thing since sliced bread. Except for people ain't cutting bread for what Ryzen can do. They're still doing it for Intel. And why? Because still a majority of people who use PCs in the workforce, in the real world, we don't look at gaming, we just look at everything. Most people are still using Intel systems. Because business for the last 10 years has been completely Intel dominated. Even with the success of Ryzen and the growth of Ryzen, essentially giving a lot of competition to Intel from the gaming perspective, Intel is still kicking butt and taking names when it comes to the server side, a high-end workstation, and extreme level overclocking. There is so much that Intel has over AMD that really make optimizations for AMD, focusing more on optimizations for AMD, kind of pointless when there are still such a majority of people using Intel systems. And that's what integrators look at. Even to this day, most pre-built systems still try to favor Intel. Why? Because what are you more likely to sell? A PC with an i7 moniker on it, or a PC with an R7 moniker on it? And if people are gonna go into the comment section and say, oh, the R7 is obviously better, that's what you think. If I were to ask my dad, ask my friends, ask my mom, ask anybody who isn't super tech savvy, hey, what do you think is better, an R7 or an i7 when it comes to computers? Say, I've never heard of an R7, but I know what an i7 is. Well, there you go. And that's one of the reasons why, yet again, x58 can still be around, because they're still optimizing stuff for Intel. But as I said, There is so much more to x58 than just its age. And for people who look at x58 and say, oh, it's 10 years old, it's so lackluster, move to something else, don't look at x58 as age-wise. Look at x58 for support-wise, for feature-wise. Yeah, you're rocking SATA 2 instead of SATA 3. You've got PCIe Gen 2 instead of PCIe Gen 3. But you've still got triple channel memory that can even put DDR4 memory to shame. You've got 6-core 12-threaded processors easily available for relatively low cost. And when it comes to finding motherboards to actually place them on these, or place CPUs inside these motherboards, AliExpress, while maybe not being the best option, is still an option. Where you can feasibly buy one of these Chinese boards, have it delivered to your front door pretty much anywhere in the world, and you can have a pretty good gaming computer. As long as things like AliExpress, the second-hand market, and just the pre-existing hardware around the world still mainly being Intel, something like x58 isn't going anywhere. And I don't plan on going anywhere without it. This platform opened my eyes to how amazing computing can be, how much fun you can have building computers. And, like I said, with the somewhat readily and easily availability of systems like these, you can create some pretty mind-bogglingly sweet computers. Aqua Infinity, the PC, the teal and blue PC that I built for my friend, the Joker PC. Those are just 2 of my PCs that I have built so far. Prism Alpha, another one. And I plan on doing so much more with this platform. I'm halfway tempted to change my name, my YouTube channel name, to like Cross's X58 Tech Shop, or something like that. Because, guys, x58 content is not stopping anytime soon. Nor do I think that's what people want. Yeah. So let that image that I just showed you give you a little hint of what's coming up in the future. Because we're going to have some fun, and we're going to build a completely wild and crazy PC only using used parts, and it is going to be glorious. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Keep it real.